Well, here she is in all her glory, rusty glory. Did get around to pressure washing. Got some of the gunk off, but still want to do a lot of scraping. And got a seal leaking, I think on that shifter right there. Most of these tanks fairly clean, but after I cleaned it up some, I seen had some pretty good rust spots down in these spring hangers. This one, you can kind of see it's just flaky rust, not too bad, but the other one is real bad. Ain't got probably no room to work in here. A little more room on this side. See this hole right here. It's pretty rough, so I ended up ordering a couple of these spring hangers from my local Chevrolet dealer, which is actually, you can get these parts through LMC truck, but I always check with a Chevrolet place because sometimes you can get them cheaper. And they were actually $7 a piece cheaper to order them through Chevrolet, and I didn't have to pay shipping. So with tax and all, it come out to be about what LMC was asking for it without having to pay shipping on it. And I don't live but about 2 miles from the Chevrolet place. So what I need to do to get these off, I want to drop these springs down, replace the bushings in these springs while I'm at it, and I want to get a hold to it with a wire wheel. Get some of this stuff like this off here. Got some pitting, but I don't think it's real bad. I think it'll clean up. I've got an issue with some of these supports that's welded on the frame. I added this angle iron support running down to the ball coupler, but these brackets here are bolted in, so I just have to, I don't know, just try to cut out, I guess, the ones that's not bolted in. It looked like at one time they had a bracket welded right here that they cut and then re-welded this angle iron. I guess that wasn't stout enough, been a little cross member there. And I got this damn gooseneck hitch that I don't like. The damn ball won't come out of it, even though it should. And you know, if I had to cut around it to get the bed off of it. So I don't know. It's welded to the damn frame too, but I'm thinking it's only welded on the ends right here. And I might be able to grind that off enough to get that plate off there. See if I can't get that damn ball out. Well, as you can see, I've already took the tank off the driver's side. It was pretty contaminated. Now I need to remove the tank from the passenger side where I can access those rivets on the spring holder and grind them off. It's pretty simple. Cut these hoses, get them out of the way. That look like that wasn't venting. And I'm gonna take these tanks to my local radiator shop and get this one. If it ain't too rusty inside, I'm gonna get this one vatted, because what I found is my vent line is completely stopped up with trash. And so I'm gonna take this send unit out and look inside and see what I got. Hopefully I won't have to replace these tanks, which they're about $100 to replace. Only thing holding these on is 4 screws on 4 little bolts on each side, and it'll come off. Now I got my gas tank off. It had about 4 or 5 gallons of probably contaminated fuel in it, because I tried to siphon it out before I parked it, but it's almost impossible to get all the fuel out of these tanks. with a flex hose. So now I'm just siphoning it down, putting it in my jug, and this tubing likes to curl up on itself. So the trick I found was taking some copper and kind of curling the tubing around the copper, and then when you stick it in there it'll be straight, and try to stick it all the way down the bottom of the tank here. So we'll wait for that to siphon out, and we'll go over a little bit of this. I'm going to do away with dual tanks on here. What the guy told me when I bought it, that this electric switch had went out and he had tied both tanks together. But as you can see, fuel lines coming in and they go to this tank, the one on the driver's side. That's the only one that was tied together. This electric switch is about $100, and I really don't want to spend the money, and I also want to put an electric fuel pump on here. So I'm going to take this off, do away with that line, have this line come to this tank, going down to my fuel pump mounted on the rail here, and then on up to the engine, to the water separator right here that's mounted on the firewall, and then to the fuel filter that I want to mount on the firewall and take it off this intake, because it is a pain in the ass to get it off there, to change that fuel filter out. I don't know why GM designed that, but that was stupid. So we're going to bypass the mechanical fuel pump, and if I have to, I'll just get a block off plate for that. And also on these diesels, they had a third line that runs from the bottom of the tank to this line that runs back to the back of the frame, and actually comes out right here at this little petcock. See it. And what you could do with this was put a vacuum hose on it, and you could siphon the water out of the bottom of the tank. Of course, these things probably ain't never been used, and I would expect they would be hard to open. But you always want to keep your fuel as free of water as possible with diesels, because you will crack heads and other damage on these things if it gets too much water in them. Anyway, next video we're going to start on the getting these spring hangers off. That might be fun. I'm going to have to pull the truck up a little bit, have some room to work. And once we get the spring hangers off, I'm going to take my wire wheel on my angle grinder and clean up this rust good. Be ready to spray it down with rust converter. So stay tuned for the next video. Spring hangers. Ugh.